I got you guys. Yeah. I did say we're going to the moon in this video, so I guess we might as well. So, I'm not going to show you how to build this. Figure it out on your own this time. And 3, 2, 1. Not yet. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm throwing out. Oh, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Whee! Look at Jim's face. I think this is my first video in quite 19.
Sorry, was that annoying?
And so, his face. That'd be my face right now if I were flying this rocket. Yep, going to the moon. It's got, I think, yeah, 6 fins, 3 solid rocket boosters that burn out about 10,000 meters in the air, and 3 bigger, smaller rockets, I guess. And guess you can figure out the rest from there. And this actually gets to the moon. So we're finally breaking loose from our little bounds of this small planet and landing on the moon. And in fact, right now, while I was working on this, I decided to put a moon base up there on this world without telling you guys. And so that's up there right now, and I've refueled it once, and then the rocket crashed and I reloaded, and now it's back to normal where before it was refueled, so I got to do that. So I think we'll watch the refueling in our next episode. It's pretty interesting. So getting to the moon, yeah, this is gonna be tough. I also have an interesting challenge for any other Kerbal players out there, is build a rocket, but it has to look like a Soyuz. And then you can do whatever you want with it, go to the moon, dock with it, build a space station with it. But it all has to look like Soyuz. In fact, I'm not gonna do this. Nah. Maybe I'll perfect that Soyuz lander and do a joint landing on the moon with Jebediah Kerman as the pilot again, and then land him on the moon in a Soyuz rocket. Instead, we're using good old-fashioned Saturn V technology that we all know and love. Funny thing that Soyuz never has actually designed to go to the moon. Probably couldn't get out of Earth orbit. And but the N1, which was designed, kept blowing up on the pad. You can actually check out a couple of mods in the spaceport for it. I don't know, I don't really like Russian-made rockets. They're kind of iffy. We've actually lost a couple of astronauts and cosmonauts to a Soyuz crash landings and other things. It's just not the best. And I know we've lost a few astronauts and other people to the space shuttle, but the space shuttle was reliable and it was reusable and it was also slightly cheaper, and I hate it when that thing does that. I didn't put RCS on this, so there's that. So just a reminder, if you're going to the moon, put RCS on it and hit it. Luckily I'm able to get it under control somewhat. I mean, it's not easy being an astronaut. I mean, Neil Armstrong's heart rate went jillion when he was landing on the moon, and it was like, I don't know, I can imagine how he felt after that. It's just like amazing, the most amazing feeling you could ever feel after landing on the moon. It's just like, holy crap, I did this. And so I guess you can understand Jeb's face right now. He's just been told he's going to the moon and just strapped onto this gigantic bottle rocket. No, I would say a bottle rocket's more like one of the smaller SRBs. This is more like a very cheap attempt at a moon lander. If you ever keep up with NASA, you know that they're going to be doing an asteroid mission sometime, and that the Orion capsule is getting underway, and actually next year they're going to do what's called the Information Flight Test 1, I think. It's not going to be with the SLS. The SLS is like the... Remember the Saturn V? Yeah, we've destroyed that one now, and now we've put more future technologies into this thing, and that's going to... And in a race, the SLS will kill the Saturn V. So yeah, I would say we're moving forward with this. Also, the Antares rocket, I'm very happy with that. They recently launched. I'm glad NASA allows you to do this, but you can download the videos off of the NASA website for free, and they're all amazing. I have a couple of rocket videos. I think I have a Soyuz rocket launch video because I can, and I even have some information videos, like the information about the SLS. So it's a very nice place. I love NASA.gov. That's one of the few websites I can get on with my school computer, and I go there every time I'm not doing homework. So here we see, we're starting to move forward here. We're going on to Time Warp. Jeb's face is amazing. Love it. That's right, Jeb. Oh yeah, I remember I did EVA here. EVA is fun. We're just going to make sure all the systems are working now, even though I have no scientific systems at all on this thing. We're just going to make sure nothing broke, like the landing legs, because Jeb's coming down on that, and I would hate for one of them to snap like they used to. If anybody remembers Point 14, you remember those landing legs where you could watch Kurt J. Mag's videos. He basically explains it, where he was like 3 meters a second and they just snapped off. I hated that. Ruined rockets like this, where it was just, it's so simple, and then bam! Don't hit the ground at all. But people found a good use for them. I mean, strap 6 or 7 of them onto the same rocket, and there you go. You can land on the moon. Little extra weight, and being that I look at more of the engineering standpoint, and that all this weight, unneeded equipment, can be put aside for later, I tend to not bring what I don't need, such as scientific equipment, although I probably should. You guys probably have to tell me what you want me to do with the scientific view of this, although I do know some science. I mean, I know some physics for the orbital maneuvers, and that's an important thing. But I build the most simple rockets, in fact. Currently, my favorite was one that got me to Joule recently. I haven't shown you guys that. I don't have a video of it actually. I have a couple of pictures. I'd put them in this video, but they're on the other computer, and I'm recording my voice on another computer. I've got a lot of transferring. I've got a flash drive that I have to delete things from constantly because my computer, because the computer has to, because I got to transfer it from computer to computer to computer. It's kind of crazy at times, but you know, you just got to get used to it. And so recently, I just had this crazy vision about what Kerbal's going to be like next. Like, there's going to be I had an idea in the planning system. We're going to have the maneuvering system, but instead of, and you can still auto edit it in flight, so you can go straight to the launch pad, launch a mission, and do whatever you want with that. But what I imagine is the mission control room, where they plan missions out and they prepare, and it's like one of those areas where you plan out a mission, and what you do is you is the fuel amount is recorded in delta V, and the rocket only carries just enough delta V to get it from this point A to point B and then back. And and then like you can set up staging where first stage is just enough delta V to get you into orbit, and then you jettison it. Second stage has just enough fuel to get you into orbit around the moon and jettison it. And then the final stage has just enough fuel to get you down to the surface and back to Kerbin before you jettison it. And it will put that amount of fuel. You'll still have that extra area, but you will be able to. It'll be a lot easier, and your rockets will be based off of weight, off of one metric square meter of fuel. Off the weight of that, which I guess, which will be, I don't know, whatever the devs think, but that's really my vision. I know that's already planned for it. I've been keeping up with these guys from point 13 on. I've been pretty active in the forums and stuff. Check me out, I'm Rocket Science 101. And then on Twitch TV, I'm Rocket Science 1001, and I haven't posted any videos up there. I've been more focused on YouTube.
Ellie should go out and blow bubbles for Aggie.
Alright, we're getting up to the burn, the translunar injection burn.
You too. Was he out there when you were blowing him before?
And I just got it to where that's right on my periapsis, so I can use it to.
Let's just check.
And that is actually very fuel efficient. Burn prograde towards at your periaps, or your lowest point of orbit. And then to get lower, you want to burn retrograde at your aphelion or your apoaps. There's so many names for these apoaps and periaps. There's perihelion, periaps, aphelion, apoaps, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple others. I just can't think of them. I think perihelion is more for planetary bodies and stuff. I think what I would like the devs to do for Kerbal is you select your target planet, and it will show you the perihelion and aphelion for that. And so you can get it at its closest approach to Kerbin. Say Kerbin's perihelion is 113 million kilometers, as I guess it is. And then you want to get to Duna, so at 113 million kilometers, you want to get it to where it is at its closest approach, and we just so happen to cross, and you want to cross it. And being that Kerbin was set up before the first planets were, it has a perfect cylindrical orbit, meaning that it's 113 million kilometers all the time. So what you want to do, so that's not true for Earth, so don't try this with Earth physics, but being that it's 113 million kilometers, or billion kilometers, whichever it is, I think it's million, but you want to, but our closest approach will be for every planet at its perihelion and aphelion. The closest approach for Eve and Moho will be at their aphelion, and our closest approach for Duna and Jewel and Elu and Drez will be at their perihelion, or periaps, I guess. And so what you want to do is you'll want to, there's a whole ton of orbital physics that I'm not going to get into, but you just want to burn at the correct time when they're at their closest points towards us, towards Kerbin. In fact, actually, you don't want to burn it when they're at their closest, because as you know, planetary bodies tend to move, and if you burn to go to one place, that planet's going to move and be in another. So you want to move where that planet's going, and that's why there's a whole ton of rocket physics and orbital maneuverings that I'm not going to go into, and I'll go into in another episode. Maybe we won't refuel the moon base. Maybe we'll just maybe I'll just build a Duna probe. I've actually been to Duna if you notice the debris everywhere
and joked around,
you see there's a whole ton of debris. I've been to Duna with a rover, the stock rover, and what's it called? Sky crane. Yeah, I've landed with that with a couple of modifications and actually put a rocket under it. For those of you who haven't bought the game yet, I'm wondering why you haven't, and please do very soon. But for the rocket, you want a but for the oh my gosh, but for it I just well, they don't have planets in the demo version, which sucks for you guys, so buy the game. And I'm so glad it came out on Steam recently. I haven't transferred. I don't feel like it. I'm gonna just stick with this. This is a lot easier. I don't want to have to remember a code for it for like 5 seconds. But I'm gonna keep with the original version. Yay, originality. I'm gonna be the only guy who doesn't have it on Steam, I guess. But you know, I prefer it in its own application. I don't like having to open Steam. I do like Steam though. I play a couple of games on there like Star Conflict and TF2, and then a few others that. No, those are the only two on Steam. I would like to play Planet Explorers, but that's not on Steam, and I gotta figure out where to get that. Especially since it's free to play, and I really want to play it because it's a Minecraft-like game with space exploration, where you can kill the inhabitants of a planet over resources, which I think is kind of fun, especially since it's more Minecraft-like and but it has its own design to it. I guess it's like a Minecraft-like game with a campaign and just a little more fun to it, I guess. So there I was just burning to get ready to land. I don't like to hit the surface dead on, because then you start moving too fast and you just nail a mountain or something. So I like to come in like around 1,000 meters, and I missed that. So I'm coming in 3,000 meters above the surface. And in fact, that saves me a whole ton of fuel on this. I mean, I come down and I hit the, Jeb could EVA land this thing and let that thing orbit a couple of minutes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the lander because that's what it was built for, and I'm not going to waste the jetpack. So, coming in really, really close. Look at that. You can reach your hand out and skim your hand on the surface. I'm actually like, I do this thing, I've done this since point 14, when we were able to get debris into orbit. And that was when people started building satellites to launch and dock with, and then when EVA came out, we had a lot of fun. But now what I do is for some reason, I'm always lucky enough to have that one tank of fuel left, and I can use that to help with my landing burn, and then when that runs out of fuel, if I'm not too low, I will jettison it. If I'm coming in too low, I'll jettison it automatically, and then just use my, see there that goes, and I can use that to gauge how high I am. I wait for it to explode. Very Kerbal landing style. Very Kerbal-ish, but you know, it works. And so we're just gonna come on in, slow down a little so that thing gets in front of us. It tells me how high I am, and if you watch it, I am way, way lower than I thought I'd be. I mean, we're not at sea level, people. And it just like barely starts to show up, and then boom. Just like right there. Boom. Yeah, we're not that high. We're coming in really, really low. And my futile attempt to center that stupid. I hate that retrograde marker. It's useful, but it runs away from you so quickly at these lower speeds, and you can't tell which way you're going. Back in point 13, when I used this modded rocket, and I could probably build you guys the original rocket I used to get to the moon, and this with some minor with a few modifications. I used winglets and decouplers. I can't use the old MK1 pod. I loved that thing, but it was small, and the devs decided, you know what, we just need to get rid of it. In fact, behind the VAB, you can see it, and up in the old area, you can see a rusted out version of it. It used to be completely white and smaller, but back there you can see a small statue of it. So we landed on the moon. The moon, people. Do you understand the accomplishment? Jeb gets to walk on the moon. This is like the second time, because I've only done this once before in this game. So, yeah, could probably get him home off of his jetpack, which would be cool. Oh, that's cool. I got him onto the porch. That's a lazy way to get down the ladder. Oh, screw the dramatic effect. I'm just jumping. I'll jump off the ladder. Top the rocket, at which will take him home. Inspecting the parachute, which will open and save his life. He'll be praying the entire trip down. Please open, because this thing has traveled for quite a. I haven't for 1 day. Nope, that's 33 days. No, it's 8 days. I can't read that. That thing's been traveling for 8 days, 33 hours, 41 minutes. Hasn't been opened since it was packed up in that small little parachute nose cone piece right there. Which I guess will cause some problems, especially since the detonation charge within it that will open up and bring the parachute out is a little old, and is basically the tops of a bunch of model rocket engines cut off and put together and then linked together with a wire, so when Jeb hits a button he can go, it'll open. But I guess we'll find out when we get home. Fingers crossed. See all that debris there? That was it took me a long time. I eventually wanted to go to Eve and was almost there, and then I missed and went to Duna, and I landed it on Duna, and I was driving it around and it ran out of power, so I wait for day. I could probably drive back to the landing site and show you guys the sky crane that brought me down. By the way, a quick recommendation to you guys: don't go past one. Don't go too fast with time warp. It's ridiculously bugged. So now, how did I lose a planet? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, we're getting farther away. We'll just increase a little bit of time. Look at the moon spinning around it. Shoo. I assume that's it traveling around the. See what happens? I went through it twice. Now let's see where I am. Yep. No, I didn't go through it. I went around it. So there's just a chance to use the. Oh. Yeah. I'll just burn it till it's there and realize I'll come in on the dark side. I don't like that. I don't like coming in on the dark side. Stop switching. And I decided, screw this thing. I'll just burn till I switch sides. So I come on up to my apps right about 100 times, 1,000 times, and I'm impatient. I thought I did more. Yep, here we go. Look at all that debris. I am messy. That's from one. That's not even one attempt. That took me like, I don't know. If you look at my elapsed time on playing on this game, it's been mostly that. So I'm just gonna swap sides. I don't like landing on the dark side. So I came up that way, and now we're gonna go down that way. See? And hopefully we won't hit any debris. That's a nice shot. Coming up. Really, really close. And we hit the atmosphere. So to save Jeb's life with the heat shield, because the heat shield is only on the capsule, and that thing's going to burn up in the atmosphere, even though the heat effects are only temporarily effect. Suddenly his craft starts snapping into position. He acted, and the heat begins to build, and we see flares coming out. We're coming down. The fire down. 17, 16, 13. We're getting close to the sky. There's some very confused citizens down there off of what that was. And I can't wait till they add cities, so I can target a city and land right in the center. Get Jeb out, have him hop around, get back in the capsule, and end the flight. That'll be fun. Freaking out the citizens. Although, that'll be bad if I don't have to add parachutes to my other stuff. That'll be bad. Because I don't want them to destroy anything important to the citizens. Oh, by that time we'll have re-entry heat, and it'll just be burned up in the atmosphere and explode up there. Yep, coming down. We're coming down to the ground. What fun. We've been to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope that the capsule hits the ground soft enough. We went to the moon with a Mercury capsule, actually. That's kind of funny. That is really funny. Man. I'm going to stop recording here. You can watch the rest of the video, but this is the end of my voice stream. Have a good day.